At 10, the fight for transparency come election time. With 53 days left until November 3rd, News 4 is asking area election boards if they'll be able to track mail-in ballots. News 4's Ashley Lincoln is live tonight laying out what she's discovered.
Well, Steve, the concern here from voters is what happens to your ballot once it's placed in the mailbox. Now, many voters are now calling for tracking on these ballots so they know that their vote is protected once they send it off.
My vote's going to count.
It's tracking Nancy McAdams wants to make sure that her vote is received.
I think this is the most important election of our lifetime.
Concerned for her safety during this pandemic, McAdams voted by mail in the primary.
I have underlying conditions.
She's wanting to do the same for the November election, but she's perplexed after finding out St. Charles County doesn't have tracking for mail-in ballots.
Very unsafe.
News 4 looked into surrounding areas and found that currently only St. Louis County allows for mail-in votes to be tracked.
It makes me feel very insecure that our ballots are going to get there because all these stories you hear.
Given that, McAdams says transparency is needed. I reached out to St. Charles County election officials and they agree. The director of elections, Kirk Barr, says they contracted with a vendor this week to allow voters to track their ballot. Barr says if a person wants to vote by mail, they must submit an application first. The county will then complete a list to send to their vendor.
The vendors use a tracking system with the post office tracking system to be able to track where the ballots are in the process.
St. Louis City says they're following suit and are working to have tracking for mail-in ballots by the November election. And election officials in Jefferson County are also looking for a vendor. However, they hope to have theirs by 2022.
I think everybody needs to do it. You know, it's so much more convenient. And then you know exactly what's happening with your ballot. So I hope all the counties get it.
And St. Charles County leaders also tell us that they are still in the process of finalizing that agreement with the vendor. They tell us once that is completed, they will, of course, send information out to the public. We will, of course, keep you updated here on News 4. Reporting live tonight, Ashley Lincoln, News 4.
Hey, Ashley, thank you. Ashley live downtown this evening. Absentee voting in Missouri begins 6 weeks prior to the election. Qualifying reasons to voting absentee in the state include an absence from the district where you're registered. An illness or physical disability is also covered, as well as any religious beliefs. Election workers who will be away from their own polling place that day are also allowed to vote absentee. Here are some important dates before Election Day on November 3rd. October 7th is the last day Missourians can register to vote in the election. In Illinois, the deadline for registering to vote through mail is October 6th. And if you want to vote in person in Illinois, early voting begins October 19th and runs through November 2nd. Investigators are